All right, here we go. Welcome to video number 3 of this series where we're going through and I'm showing you A to Z how to set up your GoHighLevel account, run Facebook ads, convert, configure a chatbot. I'm excited for this video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is an entire series. It's probably going to be anywhere from 8 to 10 videos showing you from scratch how to run your own Facebook ads. In this example, we're using a pressure washing company, but the fundamentals apply to all industries, whether you're in real estate, home service, professional services, whatever it may be. So if you're new to the channel, thanks for coming. Don't know how you found me, but if you go to my playlist, this entire series is going to be organized there. I'm Justin. I run a company called LeadBrain where we do this day in and day out. I wanted to break down my system for you here. So here in video 3, what we're gonna do, we're gonna run a technical video, right? So we're finally getting to the meat and potatoes of it. It's gonna be boring for some of you guys because these are like minor system configurations that you're gonna need to do. They're absolutely necessary. They're gonna make your life easier, and it's gonna make it possible for you to integrate AI into your GoHighLevel account. And it's going to make it possible for you to intake these leads from your Facebook ads into your GoHighLevel account. So it's very important that you pay attention. It's very important that you watch the entire thing. But this will be technical, so follow along. This might be a longer video as well. So if you have to pause it, go do some stuff, and then come back to it and follow along, awesome. All right. If you don't know what GoHighLevel is, GoHighLevel is an amazing suite of software. It's all online. It's cloud hosted. There's over 300 features, but it allows you to essentially run your entire business in one piece of software. You can call, you can text, you can maintain notes in a database for all your clients and your leads. It allows you to nurture leads, close sales, collect payments, all that stuff. It does a ton of stuff, but we're going to focus on a few key features here so that can get you to the finish line so you can have a simple system that you can follow. We've built all this out on our end. So if you're a LeadBrain client already, you don't have to worry about the GoHighLevel stuff. There's a section here where I'm going to talk about getting a GoHighLevel account. If you're already a LeadBrain client, don't worry. And if you are, I'll talk about it now. If you are not already a LeadBrain client and you don't want to be a LeadBrain client, that's okay. If you want to just go buy GoHighLevel, I put a link in here for a free 14-day free trial. And also, I would say that you don't need anything. There's 3 plans. There's a $97 a month plan, a $240 or $297 plan, and a $497 plan. You just need the $97 a month plan. All right. So don't go buying crazy expensive stuff unless you plan to make an agency and start serving other people. $97 a month is going to be great. Handouts. Okay, so I'm going to export this whole sheet because I have links and like email templates and like phone number approval funnels and stuff that I want you to be able to import into your account. So I'm just going to like export this into a PDF, and down in the description there's going to be a link that's like handout notifications or free resources or something. Click that, put in your name, phone number, and email. I'll get it sent over to you, and that way you have all this. It's all free. Now, what's the goal for this video? All right, I have major goals. We're gonna do a lot of things. There's a lot of sub-steps in these goals, but first thing we want to do is purchase and register our phone number. We want to create custom values, and I'll explain what those are here in a second. Create custom fields, and then we want to create our initial email template, right? What we're doing is preparing the environment so that when it's time to make our Facebook ads and make our chatbot and connect it all in, we at least have the groundwork laid so we can reduce the amount of times we have to like go back and forth between GoHighLevel and Facebook or GoHighLevel and CloseBot. I'm trying to make it easier for you. I'll do my best. Now, why do we want to purchase and register the phone number right away? Well, that's the longest part, right? We have to register the phone number. Here we're going to do a toll-free phone number. We're going to get an 833 phone number. That's the area code. And the reason I do that is it's the fastest to get approved, and you need the least amount of information to get approved. Now, if you want a local phone number, which I recommend, I think it gives that personal touch, especially if you're a local business. You're going to have to go through something called A2P 10DLC. I'm not going to cover that in this course, but that's another registration process that I'll make another video for. It's not impossible. I have the snapshots for that as well. So you'll be able to get this approved. As a matter of fact, the snapshot that I give you here, it's not even a snapshot. It's a funnel that you import, and I'm going to show you how to create the form and stuff like that. I've gotten like a bunch of numbers approved with just that. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I'm not going to go through A2P 10DLC registration steps, but know that you have everything you need. And then in the future, I'll create a video. The phone number is also critical, right? That's how your bot's going to be texting people. It's going to text from that 833 phone number, so you need that. Pay attention to detail. I already said that. Here's the link for GoHighLevel. This is an affiliate link. I ask that you use it if you're not already a customer. But if you are a customer, or you don't want to use it, that's okay as well. But here's the link for a free 14-day free trial. Go ahead and check it out. You only need the $97 a month plan. Let's see. This is our initial build out. I said that in the beginning, and don't worry about automations and stuff. We're going to come back and we're going to have a video very similar to this where we're just focused on the automations, the lead capture sequence, or lead intake, I call it, the nurture sequences, and sort of the client notifications, team notifications and stuff. We're going to go over that in a later video. Here, we're going to be working on variables, right? And I'm going to do my best to explain what a variable is because I realize not everybody has programmatic experience. But if you can think of a variable as sort of a box of apples, right? That box of apples is the variable. And there's a label on that box and it says apples on it, and that's the variable name. And then there's apples inside of that box, and that's the variable contents. So each variable will have a name and the contents, right? Not super important that you understand this. But let's say you keep the variable name apples and then you fill it with oranges. It's still a variable. That box is still there. The box is the variable. You change what you put in there, right? Not super important for you to understand that at a deep level. But what I do want you to understand is the difference between custom fields and custom values. And it's going to make more sense as we go into the actual configuration. But custom fields are at a contact level. So I want you to think like if we have a custom field that says like home condition or property condition, and the answer is fair, then that variable, that section, that field belongs to that contact, right? And only that contact. Let's say that contact was John Doe and he's got property condition fair, and then Jane Doe has property condition good, right? It's a contact level setting or whatever you want, a field, right? Now, custom values are different. Custom values are account level. And again, this is going to make a lot more sense once we hop into the account. But custom values are account wide, right? So like, let's say if you have an account level that says a variable or value that says bot name, and the bot name is Alexis. We call our bot name Alexis here. Well, that's going to apply to every single contact. Anytime you use that custom value in any contact, the bot name is going to be Alexis, right? So that's an account level setting. So we're gonna dive into that. Don't get confused. It'll make more sense. Now, I already talked about why we want to buy and register our phone numbers. Now here's one note, and I'm not gonna down any other agency or anything, but I think some agencies like are running messenger ads. You see like Facebook Messenger ads where they run an ad and it says like click here to send a message. They're actually really effective for some industries I've seen, and I just want to note that like when you do that, you're using a campaign objective called engagement, and sometimes you can do it with the lead objective depending on how you configure your stuff. If an agency is just running those ads because they don't want to get you a phone number registered because it's kind of a pain in the butt, then they're selling you short, in my opinion. So I think that it's cool that you're going to learn how to register your phone number here, and I think you should do that. And should you choose to run messenger ads in the future, no problem. You can run the messenger ads, and you can run the lead ads where you can text people and you can DM them on Facebook. But I just wanted to note that. Cool. First thing we need to do is create a HighLevel account. I'm not going to show you how to do that. I provide the link. If you're a lead client, don't worry about it. Then what we're going to do is we are going to import the standard funnels, right? So the standard funnel is, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and import it. Let's see. Let's click on this and let's import it into our sub account. So let's add funnel and let's go into Vets Wash Houses and clone funnel. Once you have a GoHighLevel account, just make sure you're logged in and then click that link and do exactly what I just did. Now, you may have a GoHighLevel account and you're like under somebody else's like lead brain, essentially, like they have their own and your stuff looks like this. You would have to ask them to import it for you at that point, I believe, but I'm going to assume that you guys have your own. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh here just to make sure it's imported. Cool, it did. So what this is it's a standard funnel. We're not going to use this. It's a standard set of web pages. I'm not going to use the word funnel. That's jargon, but what this is it helps you get approved for a phone number, right? So if we go into this, matter of fact, we don't even go into this. We just got to pop it open. You have a blank web page, and we're going to make the form here in a second. That's why it says unable to find form. We have terms and conditions, right, which we're going to need for our approval, and then we're going to have a privacy policy, which we're going to need for our Facebook ads. So again, we're setting the environment so that when we go to Facebook ads, we don't have to go back and forth. And I already have this set up to where your company name is automatically going to be filled in all of this, right? And your company email and all that stuff. We haven't filled any of this stuff out, but all this stuff will automatically, it'll be plug and play for you, right? So we're going to leave these open real quick. We went ahead and we imported that, so that's good to go. And then we're going to keep the privacy policy open because we're going to need that here in a second. All right, we might actually need that for another video when we do the Facebook lead form. Now we're going to create a simple form, right? Because we had this issue. So we are unable to find form when we went to Vets Buy Houses. So let's go ahead and create a simple form. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to come over here. If you're at the home screen, we're going to go to Sites, and then we're going to hover over Forms and click Builder, and then let's add a form. And we're just going to name this estimate form. Now, we're not actually going to use this form for anything. Again, it's only for approval. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to come in here and I am going to, let's see, they've changed this, but this is okay. What I'll do is I'm going to remove this. I'm going to say customer agrees to terms and conditions and privacy policy provided by let's see if I can use the variable location name, which is a global variable. It should say Vets Wash Houses. Let's see, I'm saving it and let's preview it. Cool, and it did, right? So that's good. You can put your name in there. I like to use variables wherever I can, because if I need to change that name somewhere and that location name is mentioned in 17 different places, I just have to change it in one place and then it changes it for everything. So it's really cool. We're going to do that with logos. I'll show you that. So there you go. And I think that's enough to get us approved. So I'm actually going to, what I'm going to do is I am going to check, because I include this link right here, and I'm just going to actually put exactly what it is. I agree to terms and conditions provided by the company. By providing my phone number, I agree to receive text messages from the business. So let me add that. By providing my phone number, I agree to receive text messages from the business. Now, the reason I copied this is because I've actually used this, and I include this in the handout as well. I've used this same screenshot to get approved for multiple toll-free numbers. So let's go ahead and use the same one. You can actually use this one if you want to. You'll see where we have to upload a link or something. Instead of button, let's make this a little bit more believable, and let's say submit. Cool, we have our form. Now all we need to do is we need to make sure that that form's used in the funnel. So let's go to funnels. Let's click on our standard template that we imported, free estimates, and edit. This is going to open up the website editor, and we don't have to worry about anything. Let's just go ahead and click on form, and then we are going to choose our estimate form. There it is. It just popped up. Save it. And now if we come here, it should load. There it is. Now we have an estimate form, right? So we could screenshot this and upload it to a shareable link. We're going to need that later on for our phone number registration. But I do want to show you something. You see this broken image here? Excuse me. So this is another example why we use variables, right? Later we're going to create a custom value. We talked about custom values a little bit. We created a custom value called logo, and we're going to upload our logo, and we're going to provide a link in here, and then everywhere where the logo is referenced, like in emails and on web pages and on social images, like it'll just pop up, and it's really nice. And if you ever change your logo, you just have to change one link and then everything else gets updated. So really powerful stuff here. So once we did that, let's go back to our handy dandy checklist and make sure terms and conditions are linked appropriately. Let's go ahead and do that. This part doesn't actually matter for the toll-free number, but it will matter for A2P. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. All we're going to do is come back in here and edit this. I'm sorry, I misled you. We're going to go into the form builder, open up the form, and then down here you see privacy policy and terms of service, right? Right now they go to nothing. So we're going to come in here, we're going to highlight privacy policy, and we're going to click these three dots, click this link up top, and then we're going to replace that example.com with the link to our privacy policy. Now, if you notice, like, these links are not like your website or your domain, you can connect that later if you want to, but these links work for approval. Like, you don't have to worry about connecting your domain right now. So let's save that. Well, let's go ahead and do the terms and services first. Same deal, highlight it, click the ellipses, and then copy your terms and services, paste it. Now let's save it. And then let's test it. We always want to test it. Let's click it. Cool, that works. That works. Again, this isn't necessary for toll-free numbers, but it will be necessary for local numbers. And so good thing that you do it. We have that set. So let's go ahead and check that, and we'll check that. Now, take a screenshot of this form, right? However you want to take a screenshot, and I upload it to Google Photos, and then I click like share, create a share link, and I copy that link. We're going to need that link later, right? I provide you a link. To be honest, until it stops working, you can use this same link. It's just generic, right? Well, I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's go ahead and buy a phone number. So we're going to come in here, back to our account, click settings, go into phone numbers, and then we are going to search for an 833 phone number. So let's click add a phone number. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to click on filter, and then you're going to type in 833. You can use any toll-free prefix. I like 833, but we'll say first part of number is 833. And wait till that loads. You can scroll through these phone numbers to your heart's content. I just go with the first one. It is $2.15 a month. Big whoop if you're running a business and you want to be successful, and that's why you're watching this. These additional costs are going to come with the cost of doing business, right? So cool. We went ahead and bought it. Awesome. Now we're going to click verify this toll-free number, and we're going to come in here and we are going to fill this out, right? You will fill this out with your information, not with my information. If you fill it out with my information, it's probably going to get declined. So let's just go ahead and fill this out. If you don't have a website, right, you can actually just come in here and provide this website. Okay, put in your name. All right, now next thing we're going to do is do the business location. So I'm going to go ahead and put a location in here. It's important that this stuff is accurate, and as a matter of fact, I am going to put the accurate information because I do want this to be approved so that we can go on with the demo. So I'm going to actually put my website, and then we're going to come in here. I'm on a different screen. I actually need to get my address because I don't remember it for my business. DE 8 is the green. Sweet B, Dover, and that zip code is 19901. Super important that this stuff is accurate. The quickest way to fail these registrations is if your business information doesn't match up. When you go to do the A2P stuff, if you're doing a local number, it's really important that your business legal name is actually your business legal name and it matches your EIN number, so your tax ID. We're not doing that here, we're just doing toll free. So let's go to continue to messaging use case. I always select like 100 or 1,000, it's up to you. Opt-in type, I'm gonna say they do it via web form. And then categories, I always do customer care. I've actually gotten it declined by clicking marketing. So I always do customer care. And then here's what I'm talking about when it asks for the workflow image URL. Share a publicly accessible URL of your opt-in image, right? So that's this guy right here, right? So let's go ahead and make sure we have that. Let's copy that link. And then we are going to throw that in here. Good to go. Use case description, super easy. If you click see examples, don't have to reinvent the wheel. Copy and paste that. One thing you do need to do is read it though, because sometimes you need to replace stuff in here, and if you just leave it blank and templated, it gets declined. So let's read this. Nothing we need to change in here. Good to go. This one, I do believe we need to change something, so we'll copy it here. Scroll up. Hey John, this is Justin, because that's my name, from, I'll say Elite Brain LLC. Probably even put Vets Wash Houses here. I don't think it matters. Let's do that. don't even remember what I called let me make sure let me look at my logo. Vets Wash House is cool. That's the name of my company, fictional company. Awesome, and I'll leave that phone number there. You could change that to be your phone number, but I've left it and been okay. So agree and submit. Now this process, depending on when you submit it, like right now it's a Saturday, it probably won't get approved till Monday or Tuesday, but typically it takes a day or two. But good thing is that we have a ton of work to do before we move on, so we don't need it right now. That's why we're doing it early on. So cool. We bought and registered the phone number. Awesome. That's a huge step. Now we're going to create custom fields. All right. You'll notice that we're going to create these all as like single lines, and I'll show you the difference. Like there's like, you can create numbers, dates, all this stuff. We're always just going to create them as single lines because that makes it easier when we build the bot for the bot to fill out those fields, right? Because if it's like information coming in from a lead form, say you asked a question like, hey, are you interested in getting a free estimate? And you just have a multiple choice question that's like yes or no. And you, on the other side, in GoHighLevel, you also selected multiple choice questions. Sometimes the way they import gets messed up, and then there'll be errors. So we just created it as a single line. You'll see what I mean here in a second, and we're going to do that for all of them. But all we're doing here is we're creating fields inside of a contact, right? Inside of a contact record, and you'll get familiar with that. But we're creating those fields so that we can store information about that contact, right? So we're going to look at target market. We're going to look at interested job, or if they're interested, job description, and optional, right? What these are is we're going to ask a question on our lead form. Are you in the Augusta, are you within 50 miles of the Augusta area, right? That's going to be a qualifying question in our lead form. And so I'm going to, if they answer yes, then I'm going to put that value inside of this field right here. Are you interested, right? So I'm just going to say like, hey, are you interested in getting a free estimate? And it's going to be a yes or no question. That's going to be a field. Job description. It's just going to be a blank field where they can say, hey, I need my house washed, I want my driveway cleaned or whatever. That's going to get stored in there. And then optionally, I'm not going to create this, but we can create a price anchor, right? Let's say if in the form we want to ask like, hey, we could state our minimum job price is $350. Is that okay? And if they say yes, then we can store that answer inside of a field. But let's just focus on these three for now. So target market, let's go in here. Click on, we're already inside of settings. If you weren't already inside of settings, get back in there. Click on custom fields. Now we're going to add a field. And here's what I was talking about, single line. You have all these different options. We're going to click single line, next, and we're going to name this target market. You can name this whatever you want, make it make sense. Something I don't like to do, and I don't like it when people do this, is they put the whole question in here, like, do you live within 50 miles of Augusta, right? That's exactly how it's going to show up inside of the contact, and it just doesn't look clean. And it's kind of hard if you export this to a spreadsheet. It just looks messy, right? That becomes like the header column. So I like to keep it generalistic, all right? So we went on here and we selected where do we want to store this. I always put it in additional info. You'll see inside of the contact record, there's sort of like name stuff, there's like the contact record, there's general information where their address will be stored, and then there's additional info. So we're going to save it in there. Cool. We're going to add another one. We'll do that again for interested, and then we will add that to additional info as well. And then what was the other one we wanted to do? Job description. That's an important one. Job description. We can actually make this one multi-line because it might be longer. So multi-line, single line is good. So we'll make this one multi-line and we'll say job description. Cool. This will make more sense later when we map the fields. In the next video, we're going to create the Facebook lead form, and then we're going to come back in here and map those fields into our GoHighLevel account so they get saved. Cool. I'm actually going to go ahead and create the fourth one just so that we have it, just in case we choose to use it. We'll create that single line, and then I'll name this price anchor, additional info, save. If you were doing this for like real estate or something, you would have stuff like street address, property type, reason for selling, selling timeline, listed with a realtor, stuff like that, right? So it makes sense for you. So let's go ahead and check all this. We did that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to upload our logo, right? So we need to upload the logo, and I have one here. Let me just make sure I save it. Can I open this in like a new tab or something? I'll open it over here. So let's see. And we have logo. Bear with me while I look for my logo. Cool, found it. All right, so we're gonna upload our logo so that we can update our custom values. So we're gonna go ahead in here and we're gonna go and select, they just moved this. So if we go back and select media storage, we're at the main menu, select media storage, and then upload a new file. And then we're gonna go ahead and open up our logo, and we're gonna copy this link, get the link, and I'm just gonna leave it in my clipboard right now. You can annotate it however you want, but we're gonna use this here in a second. So first thing we're gonna do, we went ahead, we uploaded it, and we noted the link. Let's see, I'll put it in here just so I could set the good example. There it is. And then we're gonna come in here and we're gonna create custom values, right? Since we're on the logo, I'm gonna go ahead and create the logo one first. So let's go back to settings, custom values. Give that a second to load. Sometimes you need a refresh, especially if I'm streaming and stuff. It takes a second. Cool. Here are the custom values. So there's nothing in there right now. We're going to create one and we're going to name this logo. And then we're going to paste that link that we just copied from us uploading our logo. And what's really cool is now that that value is created, if I refresh this page, it should just populate with my logo. There it is. Logo's there, right? Super cool. And we're going to use that in the email templates and all that stuff. So that's awesome. It worked. Now let's go and create the rest of them. So what do we got next? We need Cappy. What is Cappy, right? Don't worry about it right now. I'm just going to create a filler right here. Cappy is the it's going to be the key for the Facebook conversions API. So that's how GoHighLevel is going to talk to Facebook to tell Facebook whenever we get a good lead, right? We're going to configure that for you so that your leads and your campaigns progressively get better and more efficient and cheaper. But that's going to come later whenever we create our pixel, and then we can come back in here and paste that. But we're just going to create the custom value for now. And the next thing we need is a pixel ID. Again, the reason we make these variables or custom values is because these things are subject to change. Like if your logo changed or if your Facebook conversions API key changed, like you don't want to have to go into every workflow and try to find that value and change it. Instead, you change it here, and wherever it's referenced, it's changed. So it's really powerful. Awesome. We have Cappy. Yep, we filled it in for now. Cool. Pixel ID. CloseBot rep name. Cool. Let's if you're gonna copy my system like A to Z, like it's important that you copy exactly what I'm saying, because we're gonna reference these later, and if you mess it up and you spell it wrong or something, you might get some errors. So we're gonna name our CloseBot rep name Alexis. Now this rep name variable is not needed for like our bot configuration, but it is needed because we use this variable in like messages and stuff. We'll be like, hey John, this is Alexis from Vets Wash Houses, and so that's why we put it there. So we got that. Let's go to initial bot message. Now this is the message that's going to be sent, and this will make more sense later once we go into workflows, but this message is going to trigger the bot to send a message, right? So this is what we want to say. As soon as a lead comes in, it's going to introduce itself. It's going to say, hey, this is Alexis from Vets Wash Houses, and then the next message that comes in is going to be this. Thank you for your interest in our service. I need to ask a few questions to get you set up with an estimate. Is that okay? We always want to ask a question. You don't have to ask this same thing, right? But you always want to ask a question. You want to provoke a response from the lead. That's every message you send needs to provoke a response, especially when you're trying to accomplish something like an objective like qualifying the lead or booking an appointment. Never send a message with no question. Like people just don't answer them. Now, another thing. Why do we send two messages? So I just mentioned we send the first message, and it's not shown here, but I'll show you whenever we build a bot. The first message says, hey, this is Alexis from Vets Wash Houses. Stop. And then the next message goes out. Why do we do that? Well, the reason we do that is because if you've ever been on an iOS device and somebody texts you and they're like, hey, this is Susan from, Vets Wash Houses, and then they send you another message, up top it says, maybe Susan, right? And so like it gives people the impression that, well, I maybe know this person. Maybe they're in my contacts or whatever. So that's why we do that. Cool. So let's go ahead and copy this. And initial bot message. Create initial bot message. Let's delete that quote. And again, you're going to reference this in a workflow later on. So if you don't like this verbiage, it's not working for you, people aren't responding to it, you can come into the custom values section and then you can change it, right? So that's good. Estimate calendar. So we're going to go ahead and save our link to our estimate calendar in here. We haven't created it yet, so don't worry about it. We're going to come back in here later and do that. Right now, we'll just create it as blank. Awesome. And then let's go into market and Twilio phone number. Market, we're going to say we are in the CSRA, Central Savannah River area. That's our market. If you're like in Orlando, Florida, you can say Central Florida or Orlando or Miami, whatever it is, wherever you're at. And then Twilio phone number. We actually have this phone number, so I'm going to come here to phone numbers real quick and copy this so we can fill it out. Let's copy that, go back to custom values, create new custom value, and call it Twilio phone number, and save. Cool. What else do we need? Create initial email template. Awesome, we're almost done. Wow, that went by quick. So, real quick, here are all our custom values, right? It's important that you do this. It's okay if it doesn't make sense to you right now. We're going to use these later, and it's going to make a lot more sense. So I just want to say that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our initial email template. So I like to create an email template so as soon as the lead comes in, they get a text message and they get an email. And what I like to do in that email is like just set them up with their expectations. Hey, here's what you can expect. Thank you for contacting Veterans Pressure Washing. We're excited to have you. Here's what you can expect next. I like to tell them that Alexis is going to contact them via SMS, so they know to expect a text from a random 833 number, which is Alexis, right? And so they feel more comfortable engaging with them. And then I also like, let's say if my goal is to get them to schedule an estimate on my estimate calendar or just give me a call or visit our website, I always like to have a call to action, right? Every time you get in front of you have a lead's attention, it's an opportunity for you to step them in the right direction towards a sale. Like you always want to be taking those opportunities to say, hey, do this, give me this information. We'll get you closer to a sale or book you for an estimate. So I have the email template down here, so I'll include this in the handout as well. And let's go over this real quick. So we're using these variables. Anything in these squiggly brackets are variables, right? And they're gonna be filled. And the reason I fill these with variables, right? Technically, if this was your account and you're not serving anybody else, you don't have to use variables. But I already explained, I beat this horse, already to death, but it's super easy to change this stuff if you need to change it later on. Also, there may be agency owners who are watching this and they serve multiple clients. This is cool because you can keep this same template and it can be generic enough to work for everybody, right? Now, you can argue like, hey, if it's generic, it's not going to convert well, it's not personalized, whatever. Yep, sure, get it. So you can go ahead and customize this for every client if you want to. But let's go ahead and create this email template. So we're going to come over here. We're at the main menu. Actually, let's go back here. We were in settings. We'll go back and then go to marketing, email, templates, and then create new. And we're going to create a blank template. We're going to open it up in the design editor. And I'm just going to call this initial email. Always name stuff. I'm going to delete this. And I'm just going to drag and drop that. Cool. Now let's come in here and copy this. Awesome. So we've got hi, contact first name, so it's going to fill the contact's first name. And if you have trouble like finding these variables, I don't expect you to know them. There's like a little setting up here that's custom values, and you can browse like all the custom values, right? So all this is like contact first name, and that's how I got that information. But you can copy and paste it as well. So we went ahead, we have that, and here, what does it say? Add text to your email. I don't know why it says that. Let's delete that, make sure everything's good. This is actually going to go out to somebody, but I do think the formatting is a little weird. Yeah, this formatting's a little odd on this. I wonder if it pasted weird. Let's see. Bear with me. Edit, paste and match style. There you go. That looks better, right? Yep. Cool. That looks way better. Glad we did that. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to add a button because I want a call to action. I mentioned a call to action every time, right? And I'm just going to have a simple call to action that's like, let's say, call now. You can even add like little emojis in here. Phone. Actually, I like the red phone. I'm going to be petty here. Red is better. Cool. Call now, right? And so what we're going to do here is we're going to use one of our variables. So we'll come here to link URL. And well, first let's change the action. We want the action to be telephone, right? And so what we're going to do is come into this little tag, scroll down, custom values, and Twilio phone number, right? So it's going to automatically fill that phone number. So if we change our phone number in the future, we just have to change it in one place and it changes everywhere. Cool. We're going to save. Now, sometimes there's a bug in the email builder. If you save, like you're not able to drag and drop anything anymore. Like let's try to get the footer in there. Oh, okay, didn't happen. If that happens to you, just refresh the page. Make sure you save first so that not all is lost. But yeah, cool. Now we have the footer here, and this is just also a bunch of variables that has the copyright year and your location email and the unsubscribe, which makes you compliant. And save that. And the last thing we're going to do is we are going to update the subject line. So let's go into settings. And I had a subject line right here. Thank you for choosing location name, which is Vets Buy Houses. We're going to put that in there. And then from name, I'm just going to use location name. So if you come in here and select account name, it's going to fill it with location name. And then email, let's go ahead. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do, we're going to create one more custom value. And I'm going to fill it real quick and then we'll create it after just for the sake of time. But we're going to create a custom value called from email. And cool. Save that. And back out. Let's go create that custom value real quick. Let me add it to here as well so that you guys don't forget it. From email you want to send from. I'll add that on another line so that you're not confused. So let's go to custom values, and then we are going to create from email, and we're going to say, we'll just create one right now. Cool. Awesome. So at this point, nothing is functional, but the stage is set for us to be successful and have a smooth launch process whenever we go to create our Facebook ads and we start creating the bot. We just laid the foundation, we laid the groundwork, a baseline, so to speak, for our account. We purchased and registered our phone number, we created custom values, we created custom fields. Hopefully you guys understand the difference between those two right now. Even if you don't worry, it's going to start to make more sense as we go further into the series. And then we created our initial email template. So at this point, we have everything we need to start on the ads and the bot. In the next video, I'm going to go over creating a Facebook lead form, and we're going to start to use some of those custom fields that we created so that we can map the lead form to the fields, and we can integrate our Facebook lead form with GoHighLevel. And so it's going to start to get really exciting, and pretty soon after that, we're going to build a bot together, and we're going to build the ads together, and we're going to launch them. So I'm excited. Hopefully you are. Please, if you like this stuff, or if you don't like it, give me feedback in the comments. If you like it, please like it, share it, subscribe. I'm really excited to do this for you guys. I think that this has the opportunity to be really impactful for you, whether you're a pressure washing business or you're a real estate investor. I'm a real estate investor. I use this same system in real estate. How to get started. And after I create this series, I'll create a series of like feeder videos that show how exactly I implement this for real estate. Because once this foundation is set, really all it is plug and play. You're changing some words and you're changing the copy, and then maybe you're strategizing a little bit differently. You're asking different questions in the bot, but it's all the same fundamentals. So hopefully it's super helpful. I'm going to go ahead and export this for you so that you have it as a handout. Don't forget, go down, click the link, put your name, phone number, and email, and you'll get this in your inbox. Have a nice day.